The morning brew for January 5. Let's see what they got to tell us. Good morning. One of the brew's New Year's resolution is to learn more about our audience to better tailor our content, plus adds to the topics that are more relevant to you. So we started listening in on you, your Alexa. And this is not a funny joke, you guys. How many times have you said something and then you start getting ads for it? It's kind of scary when you think about, because like, what are they really listening to, right? So, just kidding. Instead, we're going to ask you to fill out this quick survey and tell us more about yourself. If you do, you'll be entered to win $500 gift card, which you can use to buy whatever you want. And I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it, guys. I really, like, people who do that, they must have so much free time. But if they gave me $5, I would fill out the survey. You see, that changes things. But I'm not going to do it for a chance at $500, you guys. Markets. Stocks closed higher for the first time in 2023 yesterday, shaking off gloomy vibes from the notes of the Fed's last meeting that said officials expected higher interest rates to stay in place for some time. And in some good news for a crypto exchange for once, Coinbase stock rose after the company agreed to a 100 million settlement with New York financial regulators. This year at CES, a gadget you pee on. Interesting. The world's largest tech trade show, CES, opens to the public today to show off weird, wacky, and occasionally pretty useful new devices. More than 3,000 exhibitors and 100,000 attendees are expected to be in Las Vegas this weekend for the event as it tries to bounce back its pre-pandemic popularity. Before those 100,000 folks chug a yardstick drink on the strip, here's some of the tech they can check out at the show. Not the birdhouse you made with your mom. Smart bird feeder. Bird Buddy uses a camera and AI to identify the species of bird that perch on it. The company's co-founder compared it to Pokemon Go, but for birds. Anti-snore pillows. 10 Mint unveiled a pillow that detects snoring and then deploys a little airbag to turn the sleeper's head into its position so they no longer snore. It also, of course, hooked up to a smartphone app for on-screen snore analysis. Self-driving stroller. Glückskind Ella smart stroller is perfect for the boss baby on the way to the office. It has sensors that identify when there is a baby in the carriage and requires someone to be guiding it at those times. But the high-tech pram can self-brake, use drive assist to lighten the push, and drive around babyless as needed. Frankly, a terrifying thought. I, I, this is just, I don't know if I put my kid in that. The Gran Turismo movie, Sony got CES mixed up with Sundance and is using its stage to tease a movie based on its popular car driving PlayStation game. It's a sign that the tech giant is heavily focused on entertainment this year. It's working on 10 movies inspired by video games. Whoa, this is so awesome. If you're a gamer, I'm actually excited for this, especially because I played Gran Turismo. And hopefully Sony does a great job at making these inspired video game movies. Like, the last movie that I saw that was actually good, that was based on a video game. I mean, I love the Resident Evil movies. The Prince of Persia movie was not bad. And the Assassin's Creed could have been better, but it was okay. But I can't wait to see what movies they come out. Pee analysis. The U scan from Withings is meant to be inserted into the toilet, and then users with a good aim can pee on it. It collects and analyzes a small sample of urine to monitor menstruation, vitamin C levels, ketones, and other health indicators. And there's more. Morning Brew's reporter at CES tells to watch out for new tech related to the metaverse, agriculture, and healthcare. Keep up with their coverage here. And you guys, I love CES. Like, some of this stuff sounds really interesting. Like this birdhouse one, I'm probably not gonna get this. Like, I mean, unless you have like different bird species in your house or like coming to your house. I mean, I guess you have to be into this. Like, what? How many bird watchers would actually buy this, right? Like, would regular people buy this? I don't know. Anti-snore pillow. I could see this working out. I could see couples getting this for their significant others. That way they can sleep better. Self-driving stroller. I'm not cool with it. Gran Turismo movie. Thumbs up. Pee analysis. I'm all for it if it's cheap, right? I mean, it sounds like cool stuff to know. Why not, Especially if it has to do with your personal self. So I'll be on the lookout for CES. Maybe we'll check out their coverage. We'll make another video, maybe. We'll see how things go. So the power is in you. Oh, that's an ad. So let's see what the headlines are talking about. Congress is still in chaos, like always. The 118th Congress remains speakerless after a second day in which GOP Rep. Kevin McCarthy failed to conjure up enough votes from his colleagues to lead the closely divided House. 3 more votes were held yesterday, but McCarthy didn't manage to reach the 218 vote threshold he needed due to right-wing members of his own party voting against him. There has been 6 rounds of votes so far. The House will keep voting until a speaker is selected, and until then, it can't really do anything else, especially since no new representatives can be sworn in until there's a speaker to do it. Republican lawmakers will have to make deals within the party and potentially outside to end the standoff. Meta's expensive cookies. EU regulators fined Meta $414 million yesterday after ruling that the company illegally required Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp users to opt into their personalized ads. The company put these permissions in its terms of service agreement, meaning that if you wanted to use any of its platforms, you had to fork over personal data, which runs afoul of European privacy law. To appease the EU, Meta must now change how it sets up its ads there, which could jeopardize 5 to 7% of Meta's ad revenue. Just great. Just when Meta stock was starting to bounce, this is what we get. Europe kicks off 2023 with a historic heat wave. At least 8 European countries have logged in their hottest January temperatures on record amid a heat wave encompassing about 15 countries across the continent. The summer-like temperatures are causing ski resorts in the Northern Alps and French Pyrenees to close. Meteorologists are raising the alarm, calling the weather truly unprecedented in modern records. The historically hot winter follows a historically hot summer, as 2022 marked Europe's warmest ever. Global warming is a real thing. So, Microsoft hopes you like ChatGPT enough to use Bing. Big news for dads who've been rocking the same HP laptop since Obama's first term. Microsoft is working on a new version of its Bing search engine that will integrate with OpenAI's ChatGPT. I haven't used this, you guys, but I don't know. You guys, I saw Terminator, and I know where this ends. It's an effort by Microsoft to lure users away from the search industry's top dog, Google, by making answers to search queries more prescient and well chatty. Who needs links to research articles when you can simply generate a free verse poem about the best desk chairs of 2023? Interesting. And Google is taking the AI threat seriously despite ChatGPT's flaws, including noted racial biases and a tendency to provide wrong answers confidently. Google's leadership declares its release a code red that could upend their business. I'd be afraid too, you guys. Google, very powerful. A lot of people use it. I used it a lot when I was going to school. And I still use it to this day. ChatGPT's reply style also spells trouble for Google, as the company relies heavily on paid search results, which aren't as easily integrated into ChatGPT's reply style also spells trouble for Google, as the company relies heavily on paid search results, which aren't as easily integrated into direct conversational answers. Digital ads account for more than 8% of the company's revenue in 2021. Zoom out, Microsoft has already invested $1 billion into OpenAI as hopes that it becomes a bigger player in search could help offset its problems elsewhere, like its low growth in cloud computing. Bing's ChatGPT integration could launch as soon as late March, according to a report by The Information. So, you guys, Microsoft is smart in doing this because their search engine sucks. And we all know Google's is way better. So if Microsoft could pull this off, that would be interesting, right? They would be the next generation's go-to platform instead of Google. So I see potential here. I see why Google is afraid. Of course they're afraid. I mean, Google, their company name is their best product ever. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to know. This Microsoft has a lot riding here. Like, if they pull it off, they could be the next generation's favorite search engine because you get a direct answer. You don't have like 20 links to click on. So, very interesting. Romeo and Juliet stars sue over nude scene from more than 50 years ago. Are they even still alive? Every high school English teacher's favorite movie is at the center of a 500 million California sexual abuse lawsuit. Olivia Hussey and Leonard Whiting sued Paramount last week, accusing the studio of sexually exploiting them while filming the 1968 movie Romeo and Juliet. The claims: Hussey was 15 when she played Juliet, and Whiting was 16 when he played Romeo. The pair alleged that they were coerced into filming a nude bedroom scene by the film's now deceased director, Franco Cifrelli, who initially promised that the two would wear flesh-colored undergarments for the scene. He also allegedly told actors that the cameras wouldn't actually capture any nudity for the final film, which, as you might remember from class, is not the case. Why now? The underage nudity in the film caused pushback when it was first released over 5 decades ago, but the new lawsuit was brought because of California's law that temporarily suspended the statute of limitation on causes involving child sex abuse, meaning that from 2020 to 2022, survivors could bring claims from decades ago, and it's not only lawsuit dredging up old allegations. Several states, including Arkansas, New Jersey, and New York, have passed revival statute laws. I don't know, you guys. It sounds like somebody ran out of money and they are now trying to get whatever they can. Like 50 years ago? So, what are the key performance indicators and what's this flag? What do we got over here? It looks like a bank. What is that? A bank check, bank note. Denmark had 0 bank robberies last year. This was a first, but the number of bank holdups at the Nordic nation has been declining steadily over the past 20 years. There was only one there in 2021. While the US reported 1,724, it's not necessarily because people who consume lots of herring are just better than the rest of us. Denmark's banks have beefed up video surveillance, and as Danish society has become increasingly cashless, most branches don't even have sacks of bills on hand to steal. That's where the future is going, you guys. That's why the government loves Cell and all these digital payment platforms, because it solves so many problems. Like, can you guys imagine 1,700 banks in the US were robbed? This factor allowed the enemy to track and determine the coordinates of the soldiers' location for a missile strike. Russia is blaming its own soldiers' unauthorized use of cell phones for a Ukrainian attack on New Year's Day that killed at least 89 troopers, but others, including Britain's defense ministry, have asserted that casualties were likely high because of the school building in eastern Ukraine that housed the soldiers was used to store ammunition. Russia's efforts to pin the blame on the victims has not quite domestic critics of its handling of the Ukraine invasion. Damn, I'm just butchering this article, you guys. Amazon's layoffs will impact around 17,000 employees, according to the Wall Street Journal, while Salesforce will lay off 10% of its staff. As tech companies continue to scale back on their pandemic growth. That's great, you guys. These 17,000 people have jobs lined up, and that's exactly what Jerome Powell wants to hear. The parents of U.S. soccer star Gio Reyna were behind the resurfacing of a decades-old allegation of domestic violence against U.S. men's national team coach Greg Berhalter after their son saw little playing time during the World Cup. I don't know. This is interesting. I gotta. The world is interesting. Walgreens and CVS plan to offer abortion pills following the FDA rule change that allows them to be dispensed by pharmacies and not just clinics. Well, CVS and Walgreens are gonna make a lot of money from this. Dammer and Hamlin remain in critical condition after collapsing on the field during the Buffalo Bill game on Monday, but the team said he was showing signs of improvement and William Rick Singer, the mastermind behind the Varsity Blues college admission scheme that ensnarled the likes of Auntie Becky, was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. You know, these white collar crimes, they always get a slap on the wrist. But that's what's going on, you guys. To me, the most interesting story is this one. Like, if Microsoft pulls this off and they pass Google, I think their stock price is gonna go up, right? I mean, that's what you imagine. But that's what's going on in the markets. Let's see what today has in store for us before Friday.